2 for 2.
Hello, Hardee's. You're taking care of breakfast today.
You're watching 6 WATE TV, Knoxville. Coverage you can count on. This is 6 Eyewitness News at 6.
Most of the people, they don't know how to install a car seat. I mean, it's really complex.
Car seat installation 101. Most Knoxville parents are failing. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Brennan.
And I'm Yvette Martinez. Tennessee may soon crack down on child safety restraint laws. A Memphis state representative says she will propose tougher legislation this week.
Tennessee doesn't do so well when it comes to child seat safety laws. The National Safe Kids campaign ranks us 26th in the nation. Local law enforcement gave parents pointers today on how to do it right. WATE's Scott Withers joins us from the newsroom. Scott.
Well, Brennan, only 1% of parents in East Tennessee are properly installing their child's car seats. Police inspectors say the biggest problem, Brennan, if a parent didn't make it out today, they can call and make an appointment with area law enforcement agencies to have their car seats inspected for free.
All right, thanks, Scott. And if you don't do that, here are a few tips for inspecting your child safety seat yourself. Make sure the seat sits at a 45-degree angle. Also, if your car model allows it, experts say the seat should go in the middle of the back seat. Also, it should face the rear of the car if your child is less than 1 year old. A former Tennessee lawmaker who spent time in prison wants his law license back. Tommy Burnett was a state representative back in the 70s and 80s. The state suspended his law license in 1990 after his conviction connected to an illegal bingo operation in Crossville. He now wants to do legal work with his 2 lawyer sons, but disciplinary officials are against giving his law license back. If you make phone calls to West Tennessee tomorrow, you'll have to dial a new set of numbers. That's when the new area code goes into effect because 901 is just about full. The new area code is 731. It applies to all West Tennessee counties except Shelby, Fayette, and Tipton. That's because fax machines, internet lines, and cell phones have wiped out all the numbers, but here in East Tennessee, they say we're okay for another 5 years. And it's time for them to hit the streets and get out there and enjoy this spring-like weather.
Yes, we were having spring-like weather, but now we're facing a cold snap. Bob Becker's joining us now from the Weather Lab. Bob, tell us more.
A cold snap.
A cold snap.
A cold snap. Temperatures today in the 40s, and you probably noticed that the sunshine we had earlier, it means we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a few minutes. And our 6-day forecast, for those of you who've been saying, when is it going to rain, when is it going to rain, you're going to like the 6th day.
So we are going to need an umbrella, we're going to need an electric blanket, we need to turn the heater back on.
A whole potpourri of stuff, right?
Okay, thanks a lot, Bob.
Okay.
And I said spring-like, and of course I meant spring in Canada.
Right. Well, it's a little gloomy today, but it's going to be getting a little bit better, as Bob will tell us later.
Sure. Well, divorce can be rough on parents and children. The parents have to take on new roles after the break. And after the break, we'll tell you about a new program that helps.
The inventor of one of the most popular toys ever invented will be inducted into the Toy Industry Hall of Fame.
6 Eyewitness News continues with Brennan and Yvette Martinez.
Parenthood can be one of the world's toughest jobs, and it's especially difficult when a marriage ends.
And Chuck Denny of the UT Agricultural Extension Service tells us about a program in his department to help parents understand their new roles after divorce.
Frosty the Snowman came to town one bright and cold winter day.
Chuck Denny, 6 Eyewitness News.
A new Tennessee law went into effect last month requiring divorcing parents of minor children to attend parent education class.
Well, it seems there is a prestigious award for just about everything. There's the Oscar, Grammy, and now the Toady. The first ever Toy of the Year award will be handed out to the top toy makers in the world. The Toadies will also honor this year's Toy Industry Hall of Fame inductee. Betty James, inventor of the Slinky, is the 41st member. All of this will happen in conjunction with the Toy Fair 2001 in New York City.
Does a remote control count as a toy? Because that's my favorite.
No, the Slinky. That's where you're supposed to start. But I guess it ends with the remote.
I had one. My stairs were too wide. It just didn't work.
It didn't work as well.
Well, still ahead on 6 Eyewitness News, the classroom was full as local anglers learned some fundamentals over the weekend at UT. John Haney has that later in sports.
And one of the nation's best-known stadiums goes down in a cloud of dust.
Week before this whole mess clears out of the area. So again, it's not going to be a constant 4-day rain. It'll be kind of on and off, but it's been dry, and we really needed a situation just like this.
Boy, when you promise rain.
Just like to deliver, right?
That's right. Thanks a lot, Bob. As we said earlier, lottery supporters say it'll keep more of our money in Tennessee.
Yeah, that money began flowing north a little less than 12 years ago. In tonight's time capsule at 11, we'll go across the border that day in April when the Kentucky lottery made its debut, and dozens of Tennesseans went to check it out. That's tonight at 11.
Along with the time capsule, a few stories we're working on for tonight. We'll have more tips about keeping your children safe in their car seats. The Knoxville Opera is offering up something romantic and funny just in time for Valentine's Day. And some expectant dads are attending a daddy boot camp to train for the care of their new babies. Now, I've heard this before, fishing is not just a sport.
No, it's a science.
It's a sweet science to a lot of the fishermen and women around here, and a pretty good story about what they were up to this weekend. Also on the way, some side-by-side serious racing down at Daytona this afternoon. The Bud Shootout was just that, a shootout. NASCAR's quickest from a year ago tore up the track. We'll see who crossed the line first. Sports is soon. If today's Budweiser Shootout was any indication of what next Sunday's Daytona 500 will be, look out. This was a super race. No longer a 25-lap sprint. NASCAR's fastest drivers from a year ago raced for 70 laps, and race they did. How about 19 lead changes, race fans? Look at these guys. Nobody hits them. They just kind of have some bad footwork. You know, it has been a long winter. Now the race team, Dale Jr. and Sr., up close and personal. We'll see plenty of that all year long. 3 laps left, and Sr. passes Tony Stewart for the lead. But only 1 lap later, Stewart gets him back, goes underneath, and the Indiana Flash wins again the strip to the finish line, and he'll take the checkered flag. Tony Stewart wins the Budweiser Shootout. Here are the top 10 finishers. Stewart, then Dale, Rusty Wallace, Dale Jarrett, and Jeff Burton, number 5. 6 through 10, Dale Jr., Bobby Labonte, Mark Martin, Ricky Rudd, and Mike Skinner. 6 wins a year ago, and Tony Stewart's already back in victory lane. Got to get the big guys back playing in that, or the U.S. is not going to win.
Swiss yodeling a happy tune.
Yes, they do. Lady Ball highlights at 11.
All right. Well, still ahead, after a big bang, another circulating to town.
And we'll have the highlights of Daytona 500.